Hey folks, and welcome to Drinking Alone, a podcast where Tud drinks alone. My name's Tud. What's up? It's Tud. And I'm here this week by myself, Sans Obert and Sans Chris, because Obert is at a Christmas party for work, I believe, and Chris is resetting his Switch back a minute while streaming on Twitch. So I'm here to drink a beer this week and win some points for myself, as well as say what's up and, do something that we've never done before. And that is a podcast fully with one person. So, I don't expect this to be long. But, this week I do have a beer from my advent calendar that I did want to share with everybody called, Der Schwarzbach from Craft Beer Werkstatt out of Germany. And this is a Schwarzbach. The can is still all in German. Nothing has changed. And the logo is a ram's head in a black can with a K on it. The brewery was established in 2014. This weighs in at 6.2% ABV, 14 IBU, and the brewery is out of, gotta be a town here somewhere. I do not see a town. So let's crack this thing open and see what it looks like. So it is an amber color beer. You can definitely see through it. The cans, by the way, are 16.9 fluid ounces, so a little bit bigger than normal beer. You can definitely see through it. Shine a light up to it. You can definitely see anything through it. It's your standard, kind of like for those of you who know what a Sam's Boston Lager is like, very similar to that color. On the nose, it smells of malt and a little bit of a biscuity smell. Your standard German style smell of a beer that's, a darker type of amber beer. The taste is pretty good. You get some nice caramel malts and, a nice little, kind of a deeper backbone to it. So this can is also right out of the fridge, so it's probably a little too cold for the beer. But those caramel notes definitely come through. It's slightly bitter. It only has 14 IBU, but it does have a little bit of a bitterness to it that blends pretty well with the amber style beer. Other flavors I get, a little bit of like earthy notes to it. But it's a very clean beer. It drinks very easy. For weighing in at 6.2%, this is an extremely easy drinking beer. As with most German style beers, there's only so much you can review on them before if you've reviewed one style of German beer, you've kind of, reviewed them all because they taste very similar. As I said, I think the marketing plan for a lot of these breweries is who has the coolest can. Yeah, overall solid beer though. I'm going to give this a 3.75, and I'm going to guess that Untappd probably has a lot of check-ins. And I'm going to say going to probably be somewhere around me as well, but maybe a little bit lower, maybe like a 3.63. So taking a quick look, the rating is 3.48 out of 12,219 reviews. Obviously, it's going to have a lot more reviews because this is a check-in out of the beer advent calendar. But overall, not off by that much. That was what, 0.14. So not too bad. Especially for a style of beer that I really have no familiarity with, and nobody really has a lot of familiarity with because they're in these beer advent calendar. All right, so I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make some NFL playoff predictions, given that this podcast will be dropping on January 5th, which will be the week after the final Week 18 games and going into the playoffs. So as we sit now, the Eagles are going to lock up the number one seed in the NFC. They're going to win the NFC East. I don't think there's any disputing that they are 100% going to be the number one. This is even after Jalen Hurts is going to miss this week, given that he's hurt his shoulder, and they're playing the Cowboys. So I do expect them to fall to 13-2 this week. The Cowboys will bump up to 11-4, but I do still expect the Eagles to run away with that division and the number one seed. For the number two seed, I'm going to take the 49ers in the NFC, and I think they're going to jump the Vikings, who have already clinched the division, but I think the 49ers will end up taking it. Brock Purdy's been really good, and I think they'll become the number two seed. The number three seed will obviously be the Vikings. As I sit here, they've already clinched their division, and they will they will run away with that division. Number 4, which would be the winner of the NFC South, is I'm going to take that as the Saints. I think the Saints will pull this out. I know the Buccaneers right now are leading the division at 6-8. The Saints are 5-9, but I think that the Saints will pull away. The Buccaneers have a pretty challenging end of the year schedule, and I think that they're going to run away with. Number 5, I think that's kind of already locked in to be the Cowboys at this point, assuming they don't win the division. They will cut the 5 seed. Number 6 is going to be the Buccaneers. I think they'll knock out either the Giants or the Commanders, bumping one of those two teams out of the playoff picture. Number 7, I'm just going to assume that it's going to be the Giants at this point. They're 8-5-1. The Commanders are 7-6-1, and they have a win. They have 2 wins over the Commanders already. So lock that one up, and that'll be your NFC. In the AFC, the Bills and the Chiefs are sit atop the AFC, both having won this past week, both being 11-3, and I'm going to take the Chiefs as going to be the number 1 seed and get the bye week. I think the Bills are kind of falling apart in front of us, barely winning games. Josh Allen doesn't seem to be playing with the same fire and ferocity he was playing with earlier in the year. So I think the Bills will obviously take number 2. Number 3, I'll go with the Bengals. I think that they're gonna run away with their division there, and run away with the AFC North. Number 4, AFC South. I'm actually going to switch this up, and I'm going to say that it's going to be the Jaguars coming in off of an impressive win off the Cowboys. I think they'll end up taking down the Titans and winning that. Number 5, I'm going to go out on a limb and take the Dolphins to get up to the number 5 seed. Number 6, I'm going to put the Chargers. I think they're catching fire at the right time, where they'll be able to get across that finish line as the number 6 seed. And number 7, I know the Ravens right now are 9-5, but I think that's about where they're going to end. And I think it's going to be a close race between them and the Jets. But I think the Jets have just enough to kind of eke that out, especially if they get Mike White back. So I'm going to put the Jets in at number 7. And then in the playoffs, I'm going to take the Chiefs to make it to the Super Bowl, and they will face the 49ers. I think the 49ers are just too good out of the NFC. And I think you'll have the Chiefs, the 49ers, again, a rematch from 2 years ago. And I actually think the 49ers are going to reconcile their differences, and the 49ers will take down the Chiefs in the Super Bowl to be this year's Super Bowl champion. And so with that, I'd like to thank you all for listening. I'd like to thank the brewery that provided today's beer. I will thank Der Schwarzbach, Craft Beer Wankenstad for their Der Schwarzbach Bach beer. Please head over to social media and follow us everywhere at DAWF Podcast. Also, make sure you follow the email at dawfpodcast@gmail.com. Also, make sure you head over to Discord and join the live conversation over there. And head over to Patreon, and for as little as $1 a month, you can get extra episodes of Drinking Alone with Friends, the pregame episodes as we call them. And it's just, little 20, 25-minute episodes that we like to do with the 3 of us, where we, one of us will drink another beer, talk about it, have a little bit of fun over there. There's some inside jokes over there, and it's a really good way for you to help support the podcast. Also, please make sure you head over to wherever you get your podcast and leave a 5-star rating and a review. And also make sure you're telling your friends and your family, because it is the best way to spread the word about this podcast. And with that, my name's Tud, and remember, if you're drinking alone, do it alone.